Then moving on to news and updates back home, then Piyush Goyal, Union Minister of Commerce and Industry, speaking at India Global Forum, expressed his concerns over the massive fall in markets, also spoke on the trigger point, China, as well as prevailing economic condition. Let's go across and listen in.
We stand in very difficult times. The world is going through a turbulence. I just saw a chart earlier in the day giving me the last 24 hours of stock market performance across the world. Fortunately, India was right at the bottom, some 3% down or something, compared to the chart starting from about 9% plus, or rather 9% down, to put it more correctly. So these are going to be challenging times. These are reflective of a world in turmoil which has, over the past many decades, built itself to reach this stage. Obviously, these things don't happen overnight. These things are a culmination of several factors at play. And if somebody was to ask me what would be the trigger point of where we are today, why the world is going through this churn, and what I believe, and I have been able to assess, the starting point of this actually goes back to the beginning of maybe 2000 or 3 or 4 years before that, when China was admitted as a member of the WTO. And maybe around late 90s or mid 90s when they got into conversation with the WTO. And collectively, everybody in the world accepted China as a member of the WTO. Many parts of the world were convinced that China will reform itself, China will transform its processes, will bring transparency to their economy, will work on fair terms in the global economy, and that being a large economy, an emerging economy, an economy growing by leaps and bounds, and we've seen that growth over the last 25, 30 years, almost relentless growth to become the second largest economy in the world. But what everybody closed their eyes to was that this growth was fueled by unfair trade practices. This growth happened at the cost of fair play. This growth had its foundation on every action which, in the rules of the game, would be considered improper. And the result of those actions caused a situation where I think large parts of the world got carried into the narrative of low-cost manufacturing, low-cost goods coming from one particular geography, but did not realize the long-term impact that it would have at the global stage.